Hello, this is SquidViz. SquidViz is a Ceph cluster visualizer that I hacked together from a few JavaScript libraries to help new users understand how Ceph clusters respond to change. On the left-hand side, we have a logical representation of our Ceph cluster with pools around the inside and placement groups around the outside. The green color means that those placement groups are active and clean, as you can see here. On the right-hand side, there's a physical representation of the cluster showing that we have 14 OSDs split across 2 servers, and down here at the bottom is an IOPS spark line that'll show roughly how many operations per second the cluster is doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is show how this IOPS spark line works by running a Rados bench, simulating a little bit of load. So now that I've started my Rados bench, we should see, there we go, there's the IOPS spark line kicking up a little bit, showing that the cluster is serving that load. Now I'd like to show what happens when you take a few OSDs out of the cluster. Or actually down, not out, down. So I'm going to take OSDs 8, 9, and 10 down. Looks like they're down, and the cluster's already noticed that some of those placement groups are stale, and soon it's going to decide that the OSDs are actually down and begin to degrade those placement groups. There we go. So these are the placement groups that are now degraded as a result of taking down those 3 OSDs. If I leave them down, the cluster will eventually decide that they're out, but I don't want that to happen. I'd rather just bring them back up again and simulate a temporary outage. So I'll start them back up again. We should, yep, they're back up, and now the cluster is rechecking the data in those placement groups, making sure that it's okay to bring them back into the cluster from the OSDs that were down, and now they're back and the cluster is clean. So SquidViz is not going to scale to a production cluster. It's really built for, you know, a half a dozen or a dozen OSDs, but it should be useful as an educational tool. So feel free to use it and let me know if you have any feedback.